Apple, whether closely or from afar, this company has surely had an impact on your life. Through your phone or your computer, but also in the way you communicate, work, and live. All of this has been made possible thanks to a human being who had the greatest impact on his peers. A figure elevated to the status of a modern legend, Steve Jobs. Today, let's explore together the story of Steve Jobs, the genius who transformed Apple into a luxury icon. Steve Jobs was not just a businessman, but a living legend, a revolutionary figure whose impact on the tech industry far surpasses that of any other entrepreneur of his generation. Born in 1955 in San Francisco, he grew up in the fertile ground of Silicon Valley, a breeding ground for innovation. But far from the cliches of a preordained academic path, Steve Jobs, though a brilliant student, never finished his university studies. Instead, choosing to follow his own path toward creativity and innovation. In the 1970s, he co-founded Apple with Steve Wozniak in his parents' garage. What started as a passion project quickly turned into a company with a radical vision to reinvent the way we interact with technology. The launch of the first Macintosh in 1984 marked a turning point, offering personal computers with revolutionary and intuitive design.
And he wanted to start selling products. He knew how to buy transistors for 30 cents and sell them for $6. And boy, he wanted to start selling some PC boards for $40 and was the big drive in putting together a business.
But that was just the beginning. Far beyond simple tech gadgets, Jobs had a keen sense of detail. He understood that true innovation was not just about features, but about user experience, aesthetics, and desire.
This is a 21st century bicycle that amplifies a certain intellectual ability that man has. And I think that after this process has come to maturity, the effects that it's going to have on society are actually going to far outstrip even those that the petrochemical revolution has had.
The Apple II, launched in April 1977, marked a major turning point in the history of personal computing. It was the second computer designed by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Its success was immediate and remarkable.
And so my dream for the Apple II was to sell the first real packaged computer.
The Apple II became one of the first personal computers to be widely adopted by the general public, especially in schools and businesses. It remained in production for over 15 years, a record for a computer, and served as a springboard that turned Apple into a major player in the tech industry.
Over $1 million when I was 23, and over $10 million when I was 24, and over $100 million when I was 25. And it wasn't that important because I never did it for the money.
In 1983, Steve Jobs sparked a revolution with the creation of the Macintosh. After the failure of the Apple III against IBM's competition, he didn't give up and continued working with great determination. He wanted to launch a revolutionary computer that was much more accessible than what the competition offered. The Macintosh met Jobs' expectations. It was superior in every way and perfectly aligned with his vision of a computer, very powerful for its time and, above all, extremely easy to use. However, Apple had lost popularity due to the failure of the Apple III, so the real challenge remained getting people to want to buy it. For the Macintosh launch, Jobs decided to make a big splash. He chose to broadcast an advertisement during the January 1984 Super Bowl, an ad that is still considered one of the most iconic in history. 70 million Americans were in front of their screens and saw the commercial that would mark Apple's triumph.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the Information Purification Directives. We have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests of vain contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
You've seen some pictures of Macintosh in these slides, but what I'd like to do now is show you the Macintosh in person. And all of the images that you will be seeing will be generated by what's in that bag right there.
Hello, I'm Macintosh. It sure is great to get out of that bag.
In 1997, after returning to Apple, he launched the iMac, a product that not only revived Apple but redefined the perception of computing. A device that was both functional and artistic, a work of design. However, it was the iPhone, launched in 2007, that would definitively change the world. With the iPhone, Jobs didn't just create a phone, he created a status symbol. The iPhone was no longer just an electronic device. It became a luxury object, a statement of style and success. Apple wasn't just selling a product, but an experience, a lifestyle. He succeeded where others failed, transforming an everyday object into a coveted item, a cultural icon. Steve Jobs knew that for Apple to become a luxury brand, it had to push the boundaries of design, technology, and marketing. By mastering simplicity and perfection in every detail, he made every product launch a global event. The clarity and intuitiveness of his products, his consideration of customers' unspoken desires, and his ability to anticipate needs before they even arose made Apple one of the most powerful and coveted brands in the world. Jobs' genius also lay in his ability to understand that innovation went far beyond mere functionality. He didn't just respond to needs, he redefined them. Steve Jobs' transformation was not only that of technology, it was that of how we live, work, and think.
When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. That's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again.
Today, Apple is more than just a company. It is a symbol of luxury and social status, a true icon. And all of this, thanks to the man who, through his audacity and genius, dared to reinvent the industry and our way of seeing the world.
We introduced the first iPod. And it didn't just change the way we all listen to music. It changed the entire music industry. This is it. Let me take it out here. This is the new MacBook Air, an iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. An iPod, a phone. Are you getting it? These are not three separate devices. This is one device. And we are calling it iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.